Welcome to Insight with Moonshadow, everyone. I'm Moonshadow. I am an integrative, holistic therapist, intuitive, and a shamanic mind, body, and spirit healer and chief evangelist. Welcome all my live viewers, my replay viewers, and my viewers on YouTube and my website. It's always a pleasure seeing you all here. Today is something that I've had a few conversations recently where the discussion at the moment was about how the world seems really tipped upside down, and the world being tipped on its axis like it's been. We don't necessarily think. Welcome, Dr. Corey. We don't necessarily think about the big picture and how we can make the world a better place. Now, there are some of us, including some of us in this room, that are mindful about how we interact and what we do and how we do it. Unfortunately, this is not the norm, and this is not the majority all the time, as much as we'd want it to be that way. So this is one of the big main reasons why I chose shamanic native wisdom for today's world today, because we don't apply that knowledge so much as we used to. Society has had a way to make things a little different. Welcome, Evangelos. Society has made it a point way back when to, yes, you'll be able to pop in a seat soon. Yes, absolutely, Dr. Corey. But with society, society seems to think that since it's the majority, that we have to think of what everyone is thinking. Not the small sample, but the whole, as the whole, the big picture, right? But they're not really big picture thinkers, though. You have to use, hey, Evangelos, welcome. You're force-fed a lot of information and how to act and how to be. However, going back to native and tribal thinking and shamanic thinking, a lot of these people, the healing practices were of a mass consciousness, even though they never met each other. So it's interesting how healing practices and rituals and celebrations and ceremony have very similar tones with the Aboriginals, as well as, tribes in Africa, as well as, Native American tribes. All of them have this unique connection to source that I think some of us have lost, and some of us work really hard to maintain. It's very, very hard to stay connected in the busy world that we are in today. Now, going back before the written word, there's a little story of how the written word came to be. Now, this is just a story. I don't know if this actually came to be, but the metaphor, I thought it was good enough to share. And before the written word, early man looked at a spider web and saw the unique designs in the spider web. And a lot of natives consider spider or spider medicine, spider to be grandmother spider. And they saw the lines and designs in the spider web. And that's how written word came to be, from that particular mindset. Now, that's interesting. Since there's such a connection, and I believe, yes, Dr. Corey, I agree with you, a frequency and a connection to source in such a way where respect is understood, where that symbiosis is there. It's pretty neat stuff, you know? We're so disjointed now and disconnected. We multitask all the time. We're always doing multiple things. We're on our phones often, and not, I'm very much a big subscriber to tech too. Look, I'm using tech now, but the old core beliefs of taking care of people, respecting your elders, teaching your children, all of these things it's not as balanced as it used to be. And this is why I'm here today for us to talk about it, because maybe you, after leaving today, it might coax you to become or to share a little more with the person that you may not even know. And this is a big part of it, because tribal thinking and native thinking was the earth was not something to be owned. It was to be shared. So there was, of course, there were warring tribes and things like that, but that didn't happen as often. Most of it was within the tribe or village or that area where you had the elders who would teach the children. They'd be the storytellers. They'd pass on the oral tradition. And that's how we learned is, hey, Kate, is through the oral tradition. They didn't write things down. Hey, Lance, great to see you. So let's just imagine this for a second. You're a young native child. It doesn't matter what tribe. And there is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you, whichever. Pick a number. And you're all surrounded by the tribal elder. Could be similar to like a grandmother or grandfather. And they're explaining stories about how it is, what life is all about, lessons learned. Like the two wolves story. That's an example. And the two wolves, I've mentioned this before in previous broadcasts, I believe. But with two wolves, a native belief is we all have two wolves living within us. We have one that is hateful, jealous, malicious, narcissistic, egotistical, hopeless, full of malice. But yet we also have another wolf that's within us that we also battle, and it's full of love and joy and peace and harmony and unity. So now, in this particular story, a grandchild is asking his grandfather, which wolf wins? And of course, in true native wisdom, the grandfather says, the one you feed. So that's a pretty powerful story if you think about it. That's information. That's native and shamanic wisdom we can learn today. Which wolf do you feed? Do you feed the corrupt part of you? Do you feed the negative part of you? Do you feed the part that wants to see people fail? Or do you feed the one that wants to care about people, wants to build people, wants to uplift people, right? But that's just one story. There are thousands of stories. I subscribe basically to us all being one tribe. How all of us are interconnected. All of us, nature, everything. And some of us tend to forget that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Evangelist. Evangelist saying, Blab's a new way of sharing old knowledge, shamanic inspiration, and guidance. Awesome. Thanks. Well, thank you. Thank you for you guys being here, because that's important. This is not just a soundbox to hear myself speak. This is not why I do this. This is not even the case. It's hoping to spread some good information and also share good juju and good energy out there, so maybe we all pay it forward a little bit. We all guide someone a little bit. We all spread a smile to someone. And I think that's the important thing. There's an old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. I am a product of being raised by a village. Yes, I had my mother and my father. Hey, TJ. Mr. Tech Junk, what's going on? But I was raised by my parents. But I was also the first nephew. I'm the oldest nephew. So I had a lot of my aunts and uncles that didn't have children. I was like their practice kid. And I think I turned out pretty well considering. But overall, they didn't know. They didn't know what it's like, because we know there's no owner's manual for having children, right? So it's trial and error. If something works, then fantastic. We go with it. If something doesn't work, oh, we're not doing that again. So now this is old native. This is old native wisdom as well. Your child isn't just raised by you. Your child is raised by you, by the church that you go to, by the pastor or minister, or, and the clergy, by the teachers in the schools that your children go to. And all of us need to be invested in that, because that's how we make the world a better place, starting with us, right? So this is one of the big reasons why today's topic came up, because I see a lot of imbalance, and me included. And it takes a lot of introspection, a lot of focus to remain balanced, to remain focused, to keep pushing forward and keep on putting out there, good energy, good medicine, good juju, unconditional love to people. Because right now it's so easy to fall into war. It's so easy to fall into disarray. And it's a lot harder actually to be a balanced person than to just kind of be whoever and whatever. Exactly, especially in our community and society. You're absolutely right, Coco. I've met people that have done amazing, amazing work. Someone that would never think that they had something to share, and they, do something interesting, like they just reach out to their community and try one thing. Like something that comes to mind is like there's Tom Shoes, for example. His mission statement and his idea was, for every one pair of shoes that's bought, one pair of shoes would be donated and shared around the world. Now, most people going into business or thinking about business, they're not going to be thinking about losing that money. They're thinking about loss. They're feeding the wrong wolf. They're thinking, well, you know what I mean? What am I doing with that? I'm losing money. I'm losing this. I'm losing that. Instead of thinking, I'm enlightening someone else. I'm giving a child or someone another pair of shoes. And that means everything, I think, Like another site I discovered, Better World Books. It's called betterworldbooks.com. You could buy books there, I believe new and used, but I've bought a lot of used books from there. And they are fighting global illiteracy. So for whatever you buy, unless they've changed things, whatever you buy, they donate the same price of the book that you bought, into global illiteracy, so people can read. Now, what told him this? What told him to do this? Who told him to do this? I think it's an inborn need within us to put out forward, to pay it forward. Despite how crazy the world is today. Imagine that, Kate. Isn't that cool? And I think that's so important. And we all have good days and bad days. Sometimes we feed the bad wolf, sometimes we feed the good wolf. You know what I mean? For sure. And it takes more effort to be kind, especially in a world like today. It takes effort, because in this fast-paced world that we live in, I think we've forgotten the fact of we're all living in a really large global community. That's why I consider myself a global citizen. I'm not just an American, I'm a global citizen. If anyone needs my help, I will do my best to help them within my power, within my skills, my tools. Exactly, Evangelos. Shamanic healing, see a lot. You don't have to be a shaman to do shamanic type healing or shamanic type thinking. All shamanic means is that you're connected to the earth. Now, the only difference with what I do, it's a little more intentional, and the training is a little different. It's a little more unique. Like everyone, all of us here can clean a wound and put a Band-Aid on, but we're not necessarily all doctors, right? So this is what I mean. It's something where all of us can do something to make the world a better place. And shamanic thinking does connect with that. If we thought of ourselves more as a community, things would be a bit different. Like recently, I've connected with Periscope, and I've met some amazing people in Periscope. Incredibly supportive, amazing people. And I can say the same with people that I've connected with and met here in Blab. Now, was it intentional? Partially. Was it symbiotic? Yes, also too. But it's also how you view things. If you view things as you are part of a bigger whole, a wholeness, something that you could pass on, something that you could share your knowledge, because all of us are teachers, all of us are students, all of us are learning lessons and teaching lessons and guiding others. So this mentality of there's nothing that I could do to change the world is feeding the wrong wolf. It's throwing your hands up in the air and saying whatever, nothing I can do. But there are some of us, and you know who you are, that push the envelope and still put it out there, still focus, still make it happen. Still make it a point to shine a light in the darkness that we see in front of us. And that's huge. And that's a huge thing. And I don't think enough of us do it. I wished and I would hope that more people would do it, because then it would be amazing. This energy would change so drastically. And I'm sure Evangelos knows this. He knows about frequency. He connects very strongly to frequency. If we connected to that earth frequency, that 7-8 hertz of frequency, there'd be such a major shift. And it is shifting. And there are a lot more people doing good work and protesting peacefully and making changes and helping in their surroundings and helping in their community. Try to make society a better place. It's not about taking over. It's not about being better than someone else. It's not about demeaning or disrespecting people that don't have it as well as you. It's about lifting them up. And if that happened more often, I think that the world would be a better place and it would shift. So this is the main thing here. This is why you guys are here. And I appreciate you all for being here. So you can go ahead and be a bigger light. You know, you can shine brighter out there. You can do your part. It doesn't have to be major intent. You don't have to shake up your whole entire day or your whole entire world. It could be just paying it forward once. Helping someone out. That kind of thing. You know? Now, Evangelist is saying here, not long time ago I was reading. If anyone would like to read, I recommend this awesome book. Okay. Alita Birch, The Co-Creation Handbook, a shamanic guide to creating a better world and a more joyful life. Oh, that's awesome. I'm definitely going to, I'm going to save that. Once I end the recording, I'm going to make sure that I make note of that. But this is the thing. This is the important thing, is that living a more natural way, or being a better person to yourself, being a better person to others, it's actually quite natural. But we're taught, oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Evangelist, for dropping that link. But we forget, you know, in this chaos-filled world, we forget about balance. So honestly, I challenge all of us here. Take better care of yourself. If you see someone that needs something, and I don't have to question the people in this room. I really don't, because I've spoken to quite a few of you in the room, and I know your spirit. I know how you vibrate, you know, and you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to connect with me, you know, with the world around you. So already your soul is striving for being a better, you know, a light in the darkness. And that's really awesome. And it's not about preaching. It's not about, you know, as much, you know, I'm a very spiritual person. It's not about saying you have to find your savior and all this other stuff. It's not about that. Spirituality, religion, however you choose. But being your best and putting your best foot forward and feeding that good wolf. That's really the key here. Being able to not have, you know, and think about this for a second. Because of all this chaos, we've become sicker. We've become full of dis-ease, right? High blood pressure and stress and, you know, all these things that are afflicting us. And part of it is because we're taking all this energy in and we're not necessarily working it through. We're not actually making it better. We're getting so bombarded by all this energy. It's almost like society kind of feeds the bad wolf, right? We don't want the bad wolf to really be fed, metaphorically. And as Coco is saying, we usually let downfalls and bad experiences of life change us or forget the simplicity of love. And I agree. It's about unconditional. I don't, you know, I do my best. And, you know, sometimes, you know, you falter and things like that. No one's perfect. But I try not to judge someone because they don't think like me. I try not to criticize someone because they may not be as clued in as others. But it's a personal responsibility that all of us need to kind of step in to our greatest good and help. So again, it's not about, you know, this isn't about me hopping on a soapbox and saying, whoa, I'm doing it, why aren't you? Hey, Dan, it's not about that. What this is about is just bringing to your consciousness a friendly reminder. You are an incredible person, and you have a lot to share, despite all the energy that's out there, despite planets going into retrograde, despite that, the world being in war, despite us having hunger, hunger and poverty in the world. All these things we can potentially change, but it takes a lot of us to do it. It takes that energy shift to make it happen. Right, exactly, Coco. And sometimes it's easy to fall into that trap. But unless you walk, and this is another little metaphor as well, unless you walk a mile in someone's moccasins or a mile in someone's shoes, how do you know what they're going through? Even if you look at a normal bully, most of the time, that bully was a victim. And they twisted it in such a way that they became an aggressor no different than the aggressor prior. So they fed their negative wolf too, you see? And that's the thing. When they could have done things differently. Exactly. And as Evangelist is saying, quite simply, it's about stepping into your role as co-creator of this magnificent universe we call life. We are all part of this. Energy is so important. It's what you bring to the world. If all of us thought and brought into the world a little more positive energy, unconditional, and I'm going to say love for the sake of I believe in unconditional love. I love people no matter, what's going on. And there are a lot of people that I've come to know about and be connected to that I consider extended family, that I would do anything for them, despite where they live in the world. And a lot of you know that. It's about being genuine. It's about putting yourself out there and doing as much good as you can. And you're going to find that when you do that, you're going to be connecting to that consciousness, that mass consciousness that wants the world to shift. I can almost guarantee there'll be less war. There'll still be war, but there'll be less war. There'll probably be less poverty. There'd be more hope, less fear. Hey, Terry. Welcome. And that's where it's all stems from. Which wolf do you feed? What do you choose to do? How do you show yourself to the world? Are you going to show yourself as someone that's going to be part of society and kind of put down someone that is different than you? Or are you going to rally? Are you going to rally and help that person? Speak for the people that can't speak for themselves. I've done this since I was a kid. And I'm not saying this for any kind of props or anybody to look at me like, oh, he's amazing. No, it's nothing like that. I'm just saying that when you see someone that doesn't have, could use a good word, does it really take that much effort to be kind to someone else, whether you know them or not? Something to think about. So we can all practice some of that global community, that wisdom, that interconnectedness, because we're all connected. We are all connected. You are connected to that street bum that you see on the street, that homeless person that doesn't have a dime, and you're also connected to that hedge banker that's made $50 million this year. We're all interconnected. And when we all take responsibility about helping, joining a cause, giving to a charity, all of that. Coming up, as a matter of fact, speaking of a good cause, Red Nose Day is coming up. And if you go to Walgreens, you can get a red nose. And I'm imbuing a little bit of silliness in this, but we could be seriously silly on May 26th, I believe. It's a Thursday, and I will have a special Red Nose Day show so we can bring awareness to children's poverty. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. But this way, you can give a little, and we can smile and we can have a good time, and it's a good cause. Bruce, how you doing? So yes, so definitely do that as well. And it's coming up in literally 10 days. So it will be a great time, and we will have the ability to, get together, gather, talk about the cause itself, and also change the energy, make that energy stronger, be part of a really, really good thing, and this is part of why I'm here today, is just to be a reminder, just to say, hey, what have you done today to make yourself feel better? What have you done today to make someone else's life a little bit better? Every now and then, randomly, if I'm getting a coffee, I will just pick someone and I'll buy them coffee. Usually when they're in line with me. I don't even know them. And what's the cost of that? It's a coffee, right? But to surprise someone like that, it's a classic. It's incredible. Just to have someone go, to have them step up and they go, oh, you're all set. And they're like, what? Huh? What do you mean? And it's like, oh yeah, he took care of it. Because that brings conversation. That brings two more souls that may have not known each other to communicate. And before you know it, you have a group of people talking like we have here. That's powerful stuff. It really is. Now, Evangel is saying it's our obligation to have attuned in and build up our self frequency so the universe can submit good frequencies for the next generations. And I agree. We have to, when our phone batteries go low, we have to recharge them, right? Well, we have to do the same thing with ourselves. We have to do the exact same thing. And in doing that, in building that, whatever your strength is, whatever your talent is, whatever your gift is, share it. Share that gift. Share that talent. Share that strength. Because you doing that may propel someone else to doing and being their best, and so on and so forth. And before you know it, it becomes something huge. And this is part of this. It's that thinking, it's that doing, it's that wanting to be part of a bigger whole. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be acknowledged. We want everyone to see us, or most of us want everyone to see us, right? When you walk in the room, let's say if you walk in this room, you came into this room and I said, hey, hi, Terry. Hi, Coco. Hi, Evangelos. Hi, Beth. Now, what's the difference if I didn't say anything at all? Would you think you mattered? This is the point. Putting out that good energy, putting out that good juju, being the best person you can, put your best foot forward. All these things are so important. And it's not new thinking. It's actually old thinking. It takes a village. It takes a village to change a world. It takes all of us to change the world that we live in. We do that when we have to vote. We do that when we have to manage our own townships, our own towns, our own cities. Your voice matters. You matter. And it's important that every morning when you're brushing your teeth, you're shaving, you know that you matter. And you shine brightly out there in the world to make it a better place. Because when you do that, you're going to be recharged. and you'll be feeding the right wolf. And you'll be feeling even more powerful. You'll be feeling stronger. You'll find the strength to go to the gym, to eat better, take better care of yourself, take better care of your family. All of those things make a difference. Right. Without connections, we would lose a lot. And as Evangelist is saying, even within our body and our cells and everything, right? Our body has to communicate and be connected within itself. Hey, Jake. If there was no interconnectivity, if there was no electricity passing through cells and our life's blood coursing through us, then we would just be a bunch of chemicals and pieces, parts, and tissue just all over the ground. We wouldn't be anything. And this is exactly the point. We are all connected in that way. So if we think about that for a second and actually do one little thing, something that you would think that is the tiniest thing, it is like that little pebble in the pond, in the ripple. And the ripple gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you just threw one pebble in. So this is huge. Who would think that you could just, go on some social platform and decide to hit record, and before you know it, you have people coming in and people interacting and all that. It's simple as that. It's all energy. It's all a little bit of effort. It's all being your best person. And if you do that, then things change. Things get better. Absolutely. So I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock the seat. And if anyone likes to pop in, I know I haven't seen Terry in a while. You're welcome to pop in. No pressure. And there's also Coco. Coco is new. I've met Coco through Periscope. So you're welcome to try out the seat and pop in as well, or you can continue typing in the chat. No pressure. No pressure, no judgment here. But this is all about being mindful and thoughtful and caring about what you can do for yourself and for others. Because the stronger you are within yourself, the stronger you are for others. And this is not feeding your ego. It's about giving yourself the strength and your ability so you can help others and be strong for others as well. Be strong for the people around you. Because people, they rely on you. So when we're at our best, you notice that life is better. We feel healthier. We can have illnesses that don't seem so bad. I've known and worked with people that have had horrible diseases that they couldn't, that it sidelines them. Yet they're hopeful. And they shine brighter than people I know that are perfectly healthy. How do they do that? They're tapping into a totally different thing. They're tapping into that source energy that makes us strive for more. I know a few, actually, I know even a couple of people within this platform, without mentioning names, but the amount of adversity that they've gone through was immense, yet they laugh and they joke and they have fun and they're lighthearted despite all the adversity that they've dealt with. And they still look past that. Now, what makes them different than us? They reach in and they grab that little bit of positivity, and they push it, and they make it happen. So that's, we're not as limited as we believe we are. You could do a lot more. You could be a better person. You could be an unlimited person. You are not your bank account. You are not the car you drive. You're not the house you live in. You truly are who you are deep down inside. that soul spark. That's who you are. And what you choose to do with that soul spark, getting up every morning, doing what you do, connecting with source, learning from the elderly. They've got stories. I'll tell you, I love hearing elders speak, hearing about how things were in the world back then. We tend to throw them away. It didn't used to always be that way. And I'm sure there were probably some tribes that kind of like sent their old to go wherever, but many of them honored and respected their elders. So this is all little aspects, little moon sites, little nuggets, little bits for us to think about. It's something to put out there. And I've been fortunate. The people that that I've been around, I've seen a lot of light shining from them, and I've heard a lot of good words from them, and I've gotten a lot of good support from them too, and given support. That was unexpected, because in this disjointed world, you think that you could be unheard even though you're putting it out there, right? Hey, boutique, financial boutique in the house. Welcome. So that's a big part of it. Getting support unexpectedly, having someone that you totally didn't expect to kind of have your back, that's huge. And this is the whole point of it. For someone to invest in who you are, for someone to give to you, for someone to say, you know what, it looks like you're having a tough day. Want to talk about it? There's no real reason for them to invest in it, is it? But again, it's part of that living life in a global community, seeing what you could do to help the next person out. That makes the whole difference in the world. And if we do that, I can guarantee things will change drastically. We just need more people doing it. So if it sounds like I'm preaching, I apologize. It's just bringing to your mind's eye, bringing to into the forefront the sense of being. You don't have to protest. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just smile at someone. Share a smile with somebody. Say hello, how are you? And mean it. Have a conversation with a random person. Practice random acts of kindness. I'd bet money that your life, your day, your world will be a better place for that second. So we all can think a little more like a native. All of us can think a little bit more like the old ways. That's powerful stuff. Hey, Ariel. Ariel in the house. Welcome, welcome. So all of this is really key. You know, connecting out there in the world. Ariel, would you like to pop in and say hello? Ariel is new to Blab, and she came from Periscope, and that's how myself and Ariel met. And she's also someone that is very much a connector of sorts, because she likes connecting people and helping people heal with her energy.
Hi, you guys.
Oh, good Lord. And the audio is not fun, but it's okay. I know. Welcome to Retrograde. But it's nice to see you, though.
Yeah, I tried to get onto your Blab on my computer, and it's still not letting people sign in from their computer. with
So
Twitter at least. So.
I cannot hear you,
What?
but I know what. I know. Welcome to these little glitches, but it's okay because I will be shutting down the recording shortly. But that's okay. I want you to be able to type what you're saying so we can still make this work because because everyone else can hear. That's the problem. It's like I'm hearing impaired now because I can't hear her, which sucks. But I can kind of read lips, and if she's typing, that's even better. So we can take care of it. This is called working with retrograde. Welcome to retrograde, people.
Yep, for sure.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So it'd be good
I apologize,
know
you
what
guys.
she's saying.
Kind of all over the place.
Because Ariel likes to talk and communicate. And I like to hear it. There she is.
Only sometimes.
I think.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, so okay, this is what we can do. I can ask Ariel, okay, what do you have to share of thinking about the connecting to the world, being one person, and how to connect with the world? Like, what do you do? Ooh. Good question. What do you do to kind of connect with the world, and how do you make it a better place?
Well, honestly, as someone who's a little bit more starry and connects more with like the star being energies and stuff like that, it is kind of hard for me to connect to the earth realm just because of that. But I found that like sharing experiences, like being honest with people on how you feel and stuff kind of helps me connect better to other people around me, just because I mean, if you're not sharing anything, you're not interacting with other people, right? So interacting more with others around you and not just, holding up in your room, holding up in your house, and staying kind of solitary helps you to kind of connect with the world. And even though the world is sometimes not the best thing to connect to, just because there's a lot of trauma and stuff like that going on in the world right now, it is really a way for you to connect to that. And also just connecting to the earth itself, not just the people on it, but actually taking time to go outside and connect with the earth. And, not like my way of connecting with the earth is like sitting on my porch, because if I sit in the grass, I get hives. I'm allergic. So, but even sitting on a park bench or sitting in a park or sitting in nature, taking a hike, going out in the woods or going to the beach or something like that can also connect you to the earth itself and help you really just feel like you're more here rather than just up in your head all the time. So that's what I would recommend. Also goes into grounding. I mean, grounding is really, really important, and grounding helps you to really connect better with the earth. So yeah. Yes. And some people do that, and it's so helpful to do that every single morning. I try to do that by sitting at my table, my dining room table every morning with my tea, and my dogs, they eat breakfast when I eat breakfast. So we all eat breakfast together, and I just open up the windows and just sit there and try to connect with nature by just, sitting in peace with it and not really allowing a whole lot of distractions in, because we are really distracted beings. We're dealing with life as a whole, as humans dealing with technology and stuff, which is great, and technology connects us all, but it can also kind of tear us apart.
We have Evangelos coming in,
because you're not really getting that interaction with the people around you. So just make sure you're doing that too. Hi.
Always a pleasure seeing you, Ariel and Evangelos. Now also, and I'm sure you had amazing wisdom, even though this square couldn't hear it, but that's okay. I'm going to hear it in the replay. Also, I was going to suggest, if it is possible, because I know Ariel can do this, because she's got a little bit of a tutorial in Blab, if it's possible where you can actually open up another Blab in a couple of minutes. And what I can do is I can close out the recording and then save this recording, and then we can continue, so that'll be kind of cool, because then I will probably be able to hear everybody and the audio will be taken care of, which would be nice. But yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Okay.
But a lot of these, like I'm seeing here, love sitting on a deck early when the birds in nature is active. All of these things are so important, connecting with the world around us and people around us. So it's something where we are getting a little bit of tech issue here. Welcome to retrograde. But what we're going to do is I'm going to shut down in a couple of minutes. I'm going to shut down the recording, and then we can continue in another blab. But yes, you can, as long as you title it something with Moonshadow, it's good. Okay, you're going to go then and get everything all set with video editing. So I'm going to hop out and then hop in a bit. Okay. So if you can start that up, that'll be fantastic. Okay. I appreciate it. And then all you'd have to do is just make sure I'm a host when I pop in, and then you can continue doing what you're doing, and we're good. Fantastic. All right. Well, talk about strange connections and interconnections, right? But it's still, we're good. But that being said, I'm going to close out the recording and close out the show. And okay, well, you're definitely able to do that, Evangelos. We just want to make sure that we're able to hear you, see you, and all that good stuff. So that's important, because I want to hear what you guys have to say. It really matters. So what we're going to do is we're going to close out the recording. Okay, let's see if this works. I don't know if I'll be able to hear you, but we can try it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, I can see you.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, it seems like I'm the only one that can't hear him, which happened last week as well.
As long as it gets recorded.
Yeah. Welcome to Retrograde, people.
I personally had some experience.
Oh, and now he's gone.
Like.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do is.
Okay, Shadow. You can
hopefully we have another blab set up. If not, I can set up another blab. Either way. And then that will take care of the audio issues. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm hoping that that's the case. Hey, Pamela. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out the recording, and at least in that way, it will stay solid. And then we go from there. You talking to me? So yeah, if people can look, because Blab may be acting kind of quirky here. So I'm going to do is I'm going to close out the recording, and I'm going to close out the show, and then we can continue. So I want to thank all of you, and blessings to all of you that have come today. I want to thank all the replay viewers, people watching on YouTube, on my website. I really appreciate and care for all of you coming in and sharing and being here and spending your time with me. I appreciate everything that you've done in helping and supporting me continue Insight with Moonshadow. Please feel free to connect with me and follow me. You can subscribe to all my social media. I'm also now on Periscope, so you can find me there. And there's also a link to my profile on Periscope, so you can check out my stuff and content there as well. And you can find all my links on moonphoenixrising.com. And feel free to look at all the content there. There's a lot to share. It's not just about what I do, but it's also parts of social activism. There's web media there where you can learn about meditation and different videos there. It is really interesting stuff. So feel free to check out the content, subscribe, follow me, connect with me, say hi, and I'm looking forward to anyone that I haven't spoken to meeting you, and people that I have, to sharing more. So thank you very much. Be you, be strong, be amazing, and take care. See you soon.